Devin Haney defends the undisputed lightweight title against Lomachenko in controversial fashion. Man, this is a lot to take in. I'll tell you what, first and foremost, before I get into it, in round 12 at DraftKings, if you were trying to pick Lomachenko to win the fight at the beginning of round 12, the odds were he was a 5-1 favorite, all right? At the beginning, the live betting at the beginning of round 12 for DraftKings was 5-1 for Lomachenko. So even the websites knew that how dominant Lomachenko was at that moment. Okay, at that moment he was 5-1. This is a guy that started the fight as a 2-1 underdog. He was a 5-1 favorite at the start of round 12 with the live betting. Okay, everyone knew what was up with this fight, and everyone knew that by that point in the fight, Devin Haney needed a miracle to win the fight. Okay, 5-1 to start round 12. Okay, so from there we're gonna go into the breakdown. Devin Haney is awarded a decision in the much anticipated undisputed lightweight title matchup against Lomachenko. I'll tell you what, I said it a few years ago. Boxing is full of, you know what I said. You know what I said. Let's go into the tactical breakdown of the fight first, before we discuss the decision and all the controversy regarding around it. Sorry guys, I'm actually kind of losing my voice here. Early mornings, right there, making airport runs, you know. But anyway, tactically speaking, I thought both guys brought a pretty good game plan. You know, I thought Haney. First of all, I was very impressed with the way Haney chose to start the fight. Trying to stay on the front foot and trying to back up Lomachenko, because I remember Tim Bradley was saying something that really made a good point. You know, Lomachenko is not as effective when he's forced to back up. But of course, Lomachenko, even if you force him to back up, will find the punching angles at a certain point. He'll start to get your timing. But nonetheless, for Haney to start the fight with trying to impose himself, I thought was a very interesting decision he made. I would have thought that somebody his size would do that, but I wasn't sure if Haney was capable of doing that, because you used to thinking about Haney as a very, very good boxer, a back foot boxer, counter puncher, jabber, and so on and so forth. So to watch him start out that way was interesting. I didn't give Haney round 1 though. I didn't think he did anything, but I believe I had given him round 2, and then so on. So I don't remember exactly the scoring now, but nonetheless, I still had Lomachenko outlanding him in that first round. To be honest, it still showed an extra wrinkle from Haney. It still showed a wrinkle that some of us wondered if he could show. I liked Haney's plan to go to the body with that right uppercut to the body. It was something he showed the whole fight. I think that was probably the best thing Haney was doing the whole night, was that shot to the body, that right hand to the body he was throwing to Lomachenko. Sometimes he would be on a counter, sometimes he would end up leading with it, but nonetheless, he was mixing it with his athleticism and level changes. He was able to disguise it in various different ways, and I thought it was an effective shot. I thought at times it backed Lomachenko off of him, and it also created situations where Haney could step to Lomachenko once Lomachenko was backed off of him with the body shot, from taking that body shot. Keep in mind though, the new 36-hour weigh-in rules, which now have been around, I guess, for a year. I'm not sure. Those probably also help you impose your physicality like this, Not that I'm totally complaining about the weigh-in rule. In terms of, I've been complaining about that new weigh-in rule in general. It's obviously, with this fight, obviously it does come into play, but I've been complaining about that weigh-in rule in general. Because if you make the weigh-in 36 hours before, you're getting to the point where you don't even need a weigh-in. I mean, you're getting to the point now where it's like, dude, just let them train and fight. What do you even bother to have a weigh-in for? We went from day of the fight weigh-ins to the night before weigh-ins to lunchtime before weigh-ins, lunchtime the day before weigh-ins, and now breakfast the day before weigh-ins. I mean, what's the next step? Thursday weigh-ins for a Saturday fight? That used to only be the heavyweights, But nonetheless, I do think Haney benefited from that. Once I saw his physical approach to the fight, but I saw Lomachenko's, created those punching angles. He used his legs very well in and out. He was the one that was using better combinations. I thought Haney was landing good individual shots, but Lomachenko was landing the better shots in combination. And in those combinations, I thought he had the better individual shots in the midst of those combinations as well. Like I said, I thought Haney did some good stuff here and there, and I thought the fight was competitive because Haney always, made himself relevant with his physical positioning, and again using that body shot, and sometimes a sharp counter here and there, a good jab here and there. It was a tactical fight. I thought Loma in the second half of the fight was going to make it more difficult for Haney, and I thought in that last third of the fight he really did make it very difficult for Haney. Now I think in round 12, Loma stepped off the gas a little bit because I thought he probably punched himself out trying to get Haney out of there in 10 and 11. I mean, he beat the piss out of Haney in 10 and 11, which obviously goes into the Dave Moretti scorecard, which I'll get into in a couple of minutes. That guy's another disgrace. Like the Tony Weeks decision the week before with the Barosho fight with Rolly and Barosho. It's like with boxing, it's literally an every week thing at this point. Yeah, so I thought that Loma stepped off the gas around 12. It wasn't that Haney did a whole lot around 12 himself, but I guess when you compare it to the way he got the shit beat out of him in 10 and 11, it makes you want to give him round 12. I guess you could go that route, because it was a less impactful round when you compare it to what Loma was doing in 10 and 11. I suppose, I didn't think either guy did much around 12, but I thought Haney was worn out, and I thought that Loma was punched out from the extra exertion of trying to get the stoppage in 10 and 11. I thought he hurt Haney. I think it was 11. I thought he hurt Haney. I thought Haney was on the verge of going down. It was a time where he actually held on. I'm pretty sure it was round 11. He held on, took a couple of shots, and he held on. Loma was starting to land in combination. Haney's defensive moves were getting bigger and bigger. Obviously when you're a sharp fighter, you want to keep your defensive moves nice and short, and that way you can give yourself both an option to counter as well as also keep your conditioning straight. When you start to make big defensive moves, you lose positioning, which then means you're forced to make other defensive moves because you're not in a great position when you slip the initial shots, and then those can get you tired because you're forced to make one move after another. Also, those big defensive moves, sometimes you're making them because you're tiring out and you don't trust yourself to make the short ones anymore. So again, the fatigue comes in. Anyway, as Haney was making these bigger defensive moves, he was starting to pay more and more for them. And I thought Lomachenko was doing a good job of now finding him in combinations. He was throwing combinations, for a good part of the fight, but he was finding him with more clean combinations as the fight went on. It's a fight that I had 8-4 for Lomachenko, and I've seen people starting to say that, you can't say it's a robbery because 1 or 2 rounds here and there. The problem I have here is that those 1 or 2 rounds count 1 or 2 rounds. It doesn't go 1 or 2 rounds. You give those 1 or 2 rounds to the other guy, and then you go 1 or 2 rounds again. And if you 8-4, 7-5, Loma, I can see that. Even 6-6. If you really stretch it, and if you want to give Haney every single round that you can possibly give him, and any single round that when he's even doing anything, even if there are rounds where Loma did more than him, but Haney did something in those rounds, and you're giving him those rounds too. Even if you're giving Haney those rounds, I don't see more than 6 rounds you can give Devin Haney. So like, if you found 7 rounds to give Devin Haney, I mean, it's pretty scumbagish, man, because that means you're like really looking for like every excuse in the book to get Haney around, and you're not judging it by the way it should be judged. Yeah, I mean, realistically, even if you had it 6-6, you scored it like that. But I'll give you a 6-6 because you can actually find those rounds in a 6-6. You shouldn't be looking for any excuse to give a Haney round, but if you find every round you can give to Haney, you can still come up with 6 because there are some good things he did in a couple of rounds where I felt he lost them, where I thought Lomachenko did more than him. But if you go beyond that, dude, I mean, you're literally just you got your pom-poms out, you're rooting for Haney. You're not even judging the fight anymore, So I thought that Loma won the fight. I thought Lomachenko deserved better. This is a guy that's given a lot to boxing, since the Olympics, since the amateurs. An amazing career, both amateur and pro. Turned pro and didn't even go through a prospect stage where he would have bought all of us. He just wanted to go right to the contender and championship fights, and he was given that opportunity because he was good enough to do that. Usually a promoter or manager will want to protect their investment by putting them into a prospect phase first and just build them up and whatnot. But the people that invested money to Lomachenko were so comfortable with Lomachenko dealing with world-class opposition, that they put him in world-class opposition the instant he turned pro. So you know, again, he's given a lot to boxing, accomplished a lot. Never really been beaten in a decisive fashion. I mean, nobody's ever really been able to dominate Lomachenko. And even at 35 years old yesterday, I mean, it's still a fight where, you know, it was controversial again, you know. But I think a guy like this, a legendary status fighter like this, athlete, let's call it athlete like this, every other sport where they come into this kind of thing, their sport respects them. You know, their sport gives them that respect to not do things to them. Only boxing does this, dude. I mean, yes, there's the times where fighters stick around too long and they disrespect themselves, but like, dude, you look at boxing, like it does this to its legends. I remember Pernell Whitaker as a kid when he went to fought in France against and lost to Jose Luis Ramirez, got blatantly robbed. Whitaker and Chavez, you know, Whitaker happened a lot. Even Whitaker and De La Hoya, you could even make a case for, you know. Roy Jones, when they did it to him against Montel Griffin. I mean, you know, this is like the best fighter on the planet, and like you knew Montel was like he took a spill when Royce gave him that little love tap when he was on one knee. He wasn't knocked out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. You gotta do better by the guys that not only accomplish so much, but also give that star power to the sport. You know what I'm saying? And Lomachenko really gave that star power to the sport. And it was one thing that was left to accomplish. And if he deserved it, which he did last night, he did deserve it, because nobody deserved any handouts. I mean, don't get me wrong. You don't deserve it just because you've been around. If he deserves it, and it was like his last push in his mid-30s, you know, and he deserves it, and he put on such a stellar performance against a guy who's considered a young phenom, and a guy that even I think, you know, I've given Haney criticism, but it's not because I don't think he's a good fighter. It's because I think there are fighters that are better than him in and around that weight class, you know. It's not like, it doesn't mean he doesn't belong in the conversation, but after a performance like that, I mean, it's like, you can't, you go and disrespect Lomachenko in that way, man. I mean, dude, after everything he's done, again, I mean, like I said, it's happened to other guys in the past, so it's not like it totally shocks you. But dude, this is why. There's a couple of things here, man. This is why people get turned off from boxing and they're all going to MMA. You know, again, I had to have all my core group of friends last night telling me this is why they don't watch boxing anymore. You know, they tune in for a fight like this and they see this. It's why nobody watches boxing anymore. More so to a point, and even though a little controversially, but this is why white people don't watch boxing anymore, dude. In America, white people in America do not watch boxing anymore, bro. And this is why. There's no relatability, man. You know, white guys when they're young, athletic, and you know, they're a bit downtrodden and they go on and become fighters. You know, there's boxing likes to make the joke white guys don't fight. No, white guys can't fight. No, white guys in America do fight. They're all in MMA. MMA is full of white guys, American white guys. You know what I'm saying? So like you're just alienating an entire core fan base. You're alienating a core fan base that can help you be a crossover market. You're alienating a core group of people that, you know, you probably anyway. In capitalism, you shouldn't alienate any core group of people. That's also really honest. But it's like you're doing this, and then like, yo, dude. I mean, come on. You know, if you're defending this decision, you know who you are. I mean, you know why you're defending this decision. I don't have to say it. You don't have to say it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know why you're. If you got mad at me because I had Lomachenko winning this fight before my prediction was Lomachenko winning this fight, and you were mad at me for having Lomachenko as my prediction to win the fight, you know why you were mad at me. Like, we don't have to beat around the bush. We know why you were mad at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know what's in your heart. We know what you feel. And if you notice, the only people that are really talking about that Lomachenko deserved the loss last night are these same kind of people. Now, there are people that defending it, saying, okay, yeah, this was close, it could go either way. But again, even that, I mean, I don't think those people's hearts are in the wrong place, but it's still like, I mean, like I said earlier, you could give 1 or 2 rounds and maybe, and 1 or 2 extra rounds to Haney, and maybe you got a 6-6. And you know what? I say this actually in a respectful way because I thought Haney fought a pretty good fight. He just didn't fight enough. He just didn't fight enough of a good fight to win the fight. But I thought Haney fought a good fight. I thought Haney's approach was very, very impressive, and in some of the things he was able to do. I mean, he did some things that I didn't expect he'd be able to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I was thinking of things as the fight was going on. I was thinking of things like to say, like, you know, I'm gonna give Haney some good praise, even though he's gonna come up short tonight. You know, I was saying that late in the fight. You know, because there was some things that, you know, Haney was doing that he deserved that praise, both tactically, his ability to hang in there, and just just be in a fight of that magnitude against such a great fighter, and handle himself in the way he was handling himself, and even getting through the storm in the way he was getting through the storm late in the fight. There was things I was gonna give praise to, but instead, you take it away. Like I'm not gonna give praise to this, bro. I'm not gonna give praise to a robbery. Okay, Haney's got the undisputed title. It's a beautiful thing for him. I mean, and his fans. Okay, but come on, bro. Like this isn't good for boxing. Like this isn't something. Last night wasn't good. Nobody thinks he won the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like you've seen celebrity tweets, you've seen celebrity Instagram posts, like or comments, like even people with influence, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's ridiculous, man. I don't know. It's such a turnoff at this point, and like I said, it's a turnoff to see it. Like even last week, I saw we saw with Barosho when he got screwed within the Rolly stoppage, but it's like it's really irritating because also this was a guy with legendary status, and he deserved better. He deserved to let Lomachenko go out in the way he deserves. You know what I'm saying? Like boxing's supposed to be better than that, but like I said, it's not been better than that even in the past. It's one of the scorecards too. Dave Moretti had it 116-112. I mean, like I said, I think if you give more than 6 rounds if you find more than 6 rounds you were given to Haney, you're borderline on the verge of being a scumbag. Like you probably are a scumbag, because already at 6-6, you're already like maxing out the rounds you can possibly give Haney, all the excuses you can find to give Haney every round you can give him. But I don't exactly have, like Sutherland and Cheatham don't escape this either, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know what? I've actually met Sutherland. He's a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's sometimes you come up with these guys. They're nice people. I'm sure all these guys are nice people, even ones I haven't met. But bro, I mean, you're on the take somehow, man. I mean, Sutherland was also a guy who had Juan Diaz beating me in the first Juan Diaz fight in Houston. He escaped it because his scorecard wasn't as bad as Gail and Holy, but he had like 8-4 Diaz in that first fight in Houston. So guys like this are still judging. Guys like this are still around. Dave Moretti is given, I think he would give 9 and 10 or 9 and 10 to Haney. I mean, Haney got assaulted in 9, 10, and 11. He literally, it was an assault. You know what I mean? In 11, I think he almost got stopped. But like, hey, and this guy's giving rounds over here to Haney. I mean, those rounds. I mean, it's mind-boggling. It's not incompetence. It's not, I still got people making these excuses. You guys gotta stop making the built-in excuses. Oh, this guy's old. This guy's a dinosaur, bro. Every single time, if you make excuses, those people are gonna take those excuses and run with them, bro. You gotta stop making excuses for these people. They're scumbags, and they do it over and over and over again. One of these days, I'm telling you, it's gonna be real sad. One of these days, somebody's gonna beat the shit out of one of you officials, bro. I'm telling you, like somebody's gonna have had it, and like you guys are gonna get the shit beat out of you. Like it's gonna be sad. Like I don't root for it, but like, I mean, if it would happen, I probably wouldn't even feel bad, bro. Because like you see things like this, and like it is supremely irritating. In the manner in which it's done. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's like you're making a fool out of me. Like you're giving round 9 and 10 to Haney. I mean, now you're making a jerk off out of me. You know what I'm saying? Like why are you judging that fight? Like why is the commission still hiring you? You know what I'm saying? Like it's Moretti's scorecard. They were all bad, but Moretti in the manner in which he got to the scorecard was unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. Anyway, it's not like the rank is gonna solve boxing, honestly, man. I mean, I'm in the business, so I cover it, but I can rant. I'll be ranting until if I could be going on these rants until I'm on my deathbed. I mean, really, in reality, I mean, it's not like you're ever gonna fix this. This is a ridiculous thing, and it's probably not gonna be the last time it happens, unfortunately. But every single time it happens, guys deserve better. Barosho last week, man, that guy has had a tough life. He deserved better than that. You know what I'm saying? He deserved better than that because he was earning it. It's not, guys don't deserve better than that because they had a tough life or because they're going through things. Even Lomachenko with the war and situations like that. Lomachenko also had to give an extra $1 million to Haney in order to get the fight done because Haney wanted $1 million out of Lomachenko's portion of the purse too, and he gave that up too. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't look at the little subtleties that go into all this, and then when somebody gets robbed, it's a real shame. But anyway, that's my breakdown, and yeah, I mean it's not gonna get solved, but I thought it was a horrible decision in a fight where once again, it was so big that a lot of casuals were watching, and boxing once again managed to smack itself in the face or kick itself in the ass, and then stop making excuses for these guys. That's all I'll say. Stop making excuses for these guys. Call it out for what it is, man. Just gotta stop making excuses for these guys and demand more, demand better. And if you're one of those people who's happy Lomachenko lost just because he's white, bro, you're a scumbag too. Because ultimately, you know, what goes around comes around. You keep these bad decisions happening, it's gonna happen to your favorite fighter and whatnot. It's all this should stop in general. You know what I'm saying? And it should be fixed in general, but it's not going to, because people make excuses for the people that are corrupt. I'm Paulie Malignaggi. This is Paulie TV.